All right, let's definitively settle the absolute greatest kitchen debate of our time. Whether you're outfitting a brand new apartment, trying to reclaim some of that precious counter space, or honestly just tired of soggy leftovers, you've probably asked yourself which of these two appliances actually reigns supreme. Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down the research, the science, and the real-world economics of the air fryer versus the microwave so we can finally separate the myths from the facts.
To do that, we're going to run through the underlying science, compare speed and texture, look at the actual energy costs, bust some health myths, and finally help you find your perfect lifestyle match.
So, let's kick things off with Section 1, the science of heating and how these machines actually work. The core difference really just comes down to the heating mechanism. Think of a microwave as essentially a water molecule vibrator. It generates electromagnetic waves that cause the water inside your food to vibrate incredibly fast. That creates friction, which heats your meal from the inside out and outside in all at the same time. Now, an air fryer operates entirely differently. It's basically a compact, high-powered convection oven. It uses a direct heating element and a super powerful fan to just blast 350 to 400 degree dry air all around your food.
And this right here brings us to a massive difference in the outcome on your plate. Because microwaves lack that dry circulating heat and have absolutely no direct contact with a heating element, they completely miss out on something called the Maillard reaction. That's the beautiful, scientific process responsible for browning and creating those deep, savory flavors we all love. Because a microwave can't trigger this, you often get soft, steamy, or kind of rubbery results. The air fryer, on the other hand, aggressively strips moisture from the surface to deliver a deep, roasted crunch. Literally, it's the difference between a sad, pale chicken nugget and a golden, crispy one.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 2, speed, texture, and taste. The ultimate battle of mush versus crunch.
Now, which one cooks food better is the question literally everyone asks when they walk into an appliance store. But honestly, that question is a bit of a trap. The answer completely, 100% depends on the specific job you're handing to the machine. What's fascinating is how perfectly the kitchen divides into two totally distinct zones. The microwave decisively wins for liquids and high-moisture foods. I mean, you cannot heat soup, melt butter, or quickly steam veggies in an air fryer without making an absolute mess. But for frozen fries, breaded proteins, baking, and roasting, no contest. The air fryer genuinely shines there, restoring those crispy, restaurant-quality textures that a microwave would just turn into a total soggy disappointment.
But listen, to get those perfect results, you actually have to help the technology out a bit. For the microwave, step one is always to stir or rotate your food. You have to do this to avoid those infamous hot and cold spots, since microwaves heavily rely on water density. For the air fryer, your golden rule is simple. Never overcrowd the basket and always shake it halfway through. That powerful fan desperately needs physical space to circulate the hot air around every single edge of your food to get that consistent crisp.
All right, let's pivot to Section 3, energy, costs, and value. The truth about your electricity bill.
Let's start with the trusty microwave. It only uses about 0.033 kilowatt hours to reheat a plate of leftovers in 2 minutes. Because it cooks incredibly fast, we're talking usually under 5 minutes total, it draws a remarkably low amount of overall power. This makes it incredibly cheap on a per-use basis.
But brace yourself for the air fryer's power pull. A 1400-watt air fryer used daily for 30 minutes can cost you around 87 pounds or over $100 a year, depending on your local utility rates. Air fryers draw high wattage and they run for significantly longer periods, usually around 12 to 20 minutes. So naturally, their direct running costs are noticeably higher than a microwave's.
But hold on, because here is the major plot twist. Yes, the microwave uses the lowest energy per use, and the air fryer sits right in the middle. But when you compare them both to the massive power draw of a traditional conventional oven, the whole perspective changes entirely. The reality for most of us is that the air fryer is replacing that full-sized energy-hogging oven for our small daily batches. By skipping that massive 20-minute preheating cycle of a large oven, the air fryer is actually a huge money saver for your household.
Let's move right into Section 4, health and nutrition facts. We're putting facts against fiction here.
Now, both of these appliances actually offer some entirely unique health benefits. If you're looking to cut calories and seriously reduce your oil consumption, the air fryer is absolutely your best friend. It gives you that craveable deep-fried texture with just a fraction of the fat. But if your main goal is preserving heat-sensitive, water-soluble vitamins in your vegetables, the microwave actually takes the crown.
Because it cooks so unbelievably fast and uses essentially zero oil, it actually stops nutrients from breaking down over long heat exposures.
We also need to talk about acrylamide for a second. That's a chemical compound formed in starchy foods, like potatoes, when they're cooked at very high temperatures. The scientific studies on this are actually pretty mixed. Some research shows air fryers reduce acrylamide by up to 90% compared to traditional deep frying, which is huge. But other studies show microwaves produce even less, simply because they don't brown the food at all. Ultimately, what the data tells us is that avoiding overbrowning and excessively high temperatures matters far, far more for your health than the specific appliance you happen to pick.
Oh, and let's just completely shut down a very persistent kitchen myth right now. The electromagnetic waves used by microwaves are non-ionizing. What does that mean? It means they just safely vibrate water molecules. They do not damage your DNA, and they certainly don't make your food radioactive. And air fryers? They literally just use a traditional heating coil and a fan. No radiation involved whatsoever. Bottom line, neither appliance poses a meaningful radiation risk when used correctly.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, finding your perfect match through lifestyle mapping. At the end of the day, how you live is going to dictate your primary tool. If you're a busy family needing to heat up school lunches or defrost meat in 90 seconds flat, the microwave is your ultimate speed tool. If your focus is weight management and you want that low-oil crunch without the guilt, you really need an air fryer. For you meal preppers out there, using both in tandem, like cooking bulk proteins in the air fryer and reheating them later in the microwave, is the ultimate kitchen hack. And for small homes or dorms, the microwave is still the undefeated king of versatile basics.
The honest truth, backed by all the data we've just unpacked today, is that the absolute ideal solution is actually using both. You just cannot fully replace one with the other because the end results are genuinely, scientifically, completely different. One is an absolute master of speed and moisture retention, the other is a master of dry heat, crunch, and crispness. They aren't rivals, they're fundamentally complementary appliances.
So instead of asking which appliance is the ultimate winner, I want to leave you with this to think about. Are you melting, steaming, and rushing? Or are you roasting, crisping, and savoring? The next time you step into your kitchen,